All right, let's dive into one of Shakespeare's wildest and most loved comedies. Whether you're cramming for an exam or you're just a little curious, we're going to break down the magic, the madness, and the massive mix-ups of A Midsummer Night's Dream. Let's get to it.
This line from the mischievous fairy Puck pretty much says it all, doesn't it? The entire play is just a hilarious reminder that love can make an absolute fool of anyone. It's the perfect setup for the chaos we're about to jump into.
So where on earth did a story like this come from? Let's take a quick look at the background of what some people call Shakespeare's most psychedelic play.
You know, what's so cool about this play is how Shakespeare just mashes these completely different worlds together. He's writing around 1595, and he takes ancient Greek myths, classic English folklore with all its fairies, and the super strict laws of Athens, and he just throws them all into a blender. He wanted to create a comedy that really gets into how irrational and, frankly, how weird love can be, a topic Elizabethan audiences just couldn't get enough of.
Okay, the plot can feel like a tangled mess, I get it. But here's the secret. You just have to think of it as three totally separate groups of people. Each group has its own drama going on, and they're all about to crash into each other in the woods.
So here are our three crews. First up, you've got the high society lovers, four young people stuck in a messy love quadrangle. Then you have the magical fairies. Their king and queen, Oberon and Titania, are in the middle of a huge fight that's literally messing with the weather. And finally, you have the mechanicals, this hilarious group of amateur actors trying to put on a play. They all start out in the nice, orderly city of Athens, but they're not going to stay there for long.
And here we go. This is where it all kicks off. Everybody ends up in the enchanted forest just outside of town. And out here, all the rules of society, all the logic, all of reality, it all just goes right out the window.
And the chaos starts with this, a magical flower. See, the fairy king, Oberon, wants to play a prank on his queen, Titania. So he tells his sidekick, Puck, to find a flower with a special juice. If you squeeze it on someone's sleeping eyelids, they will fall hopelessly in love with the very first thing they see when they wake up. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, everything, of course. Oberon also feels bad for lovesick Helena, so he tells Puck to use the potion on the guy she loves, Demetrius. But Puck, being Puck, messes up. He finds the wrong guy in the dark and puts the juice on Lysander's eyes instead. So Lysander wakes up, sees Helena, and suddenly he's obsessed with her, completely forgetting about his true love, Hermia. To fix this, the potion gets put on Demetrius too, which only makes things a million times worse. Now both men are chasing after Helena, who is convinced they're just making fun of her. It's a total glorious mess.
And this just shows you the perfect swap. Before the magic, both guys were after Hermia, leaving poor Helena out in the cold. After Puck's meddling, both guys are now desperately in love with Helena, and Hermia is the one left totally confused and alone. It's a perfect, symmetrical, and absolutely hilarious reversal.
Oh, but Puck isn't done yet, not even close. While the mechanicals are rehearsing their play, he spots the most over-the-top actor, Nick Bottom, and decides to have a little fun. He magically turns Bottom's head into the head of a donkey. And who happens to be waking up nearby with that love potion on her eyelids? Yep, the fairy queen Titania. She takes one look at the donkey-headed man and falls head over heels in love. It is the absolute peak of the play's absurdity.
So all this madness is fun, but what's the point? This play isn't just a bunch of silly gags. It's actually exploring some pretty big ideas about love, reality, and how we make sense of the world. Let's try to decode this crazy dream. You know, there's that famous line, "The course of true love never did run smooth." And that's exactly what we're seeing here, right? The play is poking fun at how illogical love makes us. That magic love potion, it's not really the cause of the problem. It's more like a metaphor for how random and powerful attraction can be. Shakespeare's basically asking us, is falling in love really any different from being under a spell? And that brings up the next big idea. What's real and what's just in our heads? The forest is like this dream world where the normal rules just don't apply and anything can happen. The whole night is so bizarre that the characters themselves can't figure it out. When Nick Bottom wakes up, he has no idea if his magical night with the Fairy Queen actually happened or if it was just a wild fantasy. And Shakespeare kind of leaves us wondering too. This all comes down to the play's main clash, order versus disorder. Athens represents the daylight world. It's a place of law, logic, and social rules, like a father telling his daughter who to marry.
But the forest is the complete opposite. It's a world of nighttime, magic, emotions, and total chaos, where none of those rules matter. The entire journey of the play is about leaving that strict order, going into the messy, dreamlike forest, and then coming back out to find a new, better kind of order.
But the dream can't go on forever. As the sun comes up, the characters have to leave the chaos of the forest behind and return to the real world of Athens.
And just like that, as dawn breaks, everything gets sorted out. Puck fixes his magical mistakes, and the lovers wake up with the right people, thinking the whole thing was just a really weird dream. The Duke lets Hermia marry who she wants, the fairies make up, Bottom gets his human head back, and it all ends with 3 weddings and a terribly acted, but very funny, play. All's well that ends well.
The play ends with Puck coming forward and talking directly to us, the audience. He basically says, hey, if you didn't like our play, no worries. Just pretend you fell asleep and it was all a dream. It's this brilliant moment that breaks the fourth wall, blurring the line between the stage and our world, and maybe suggesting that life itself is just as strange and dreamlike as what we just saw.
And that's the final question Shakespeare leaves us with, right there in the title. Were the crazy events in the forest real, or was it all just a dream? The play never gives us a straight answer, which forces us to think about that blurry line between what really happens and what we just imagine. A perfect puzzle to end a perfectly chaotic comedy. Thanks for joining me.